While watching bullish price actions, let us inform you our review on AREB. American Rebel Holdings Incorporated just delivered one of the most jaw-dropping performances in the nano-cap market this week. The stock exploded 343% on Wednesday, dropped 37% on Thursday, then came roaring back 392% on Friday, closing out the week with over 83 million shares traded and a market cap that climbed to around $7 million. It's the kind of swing that gets traders buzzing and retail investors piling in, but there's more going on here than just technical fireworks. This story blends brand identity, cultural alignment, a major capital raise, and a classic case of speculative momentum. Let's start with what American Rebel actually is. The company designs, manufactures, and markets branded safes, personal security products, and concealed carry apparel, jackets, vests, t-shirts, all geared toward the firearms owning, freedom first, patriotic American demographic. Their branding leans hard into Second Amendment rights, self-reliance, and conservative American values. This week, they leaned further into that with a new video released on YouTube telling the story behind the American Rebel brand. CEO Andy Ross described it as a tribute to the American dream, aimed at people who want to live boldly, stand tall, and embrace their freedom. It's not just branding, it's cultural storytelling. And in a polarized landscape, connecting with a niche audience that feels deeply aligned with those values is a powerful play. It creates loyalty. It creates evangelists. And yes, it creates buzz. But that video didn't launch the stock on its own. What really got things moving was the April 4th announcement of a private placement that could raise up to $11 million. For a company this size, that's a big number. The structure includes $2.5 million in upfront capital through the sale of 724,640 shares, or pre-funded warrants, at $3.45 per share, along with accompanying Series A and B warrants exercisable at $2.95. If those warrants are fully exercised, that's another $8.5 million in potential gross proceeds. The A warrants are good for 5 years, while the B warrants expire in 18 months. Now, for American Rebel, this cash infusion is significant. It gives them capital to expand production, strengthen their marketing push, and potentially scale faster in both their security products and apparel businesses. But from an investor perspective, this also means dilution, more shares hitting the market, which typically pulls down price unless there's strong demand to absorb it. That dilution effect was felt Thursday, with the stock pulling back hard. But then Friday saw a massive resurgence, and this is where the speculative energy really kicked in. With low float, rising retail interest, and a sharp swing in sentiment, the setup was perfect for a short squeeze. After Wednesday's big move, short sellers likely stepped in, expecting a fade. But when retail piled back in and the stock started climbing, those shorts got caught. Forced covering, rising volume, and a feeding frenzy followed. That's how we ended up with a 392% surge and an intraday high of $20.89. So where does this leave us? In the short term, this is high-stakes, high-volatility territory. The stock is trading more on emotion and narrative than on fundamentals. If you're a trader, there's opportunity here, but you better have tight risk controls. For long-term investors, though, the question becomes, can American Rebel turn this burst of attention into sustained momentum? With fresh capital, a clearly defined brand, and a niche audience that's extremely loyal, the company has the raw ingredients to build something. But they'll need to show actual revenue growth, manage their cost base, and execute well with this new funding. Apparel and safes are competitive spaces, and scale doesn't happen overnight. However, the cultural relevance they're tapping into could give them an edge, especially if they continue to market smartly and keep connecting with their base. Right now, American Rebel has a rare mix of media buzz, market momentum, and meaningful funding, all at once. The next few months will be critical. If they use this cash wisely, expand their distribution, and prove they can drive demand, this wild week could mark the beginning of something much more substantial. But until then, it's a story of potential, loud, volatile, and still unfolding. Please subscribe, give the video a like, and watch more from our playlist. Thanks.